So, well, you already met the Dutch ambassador. And ambassador. And this is the Australian ambassador. Colombia is the latest member.
In Romania will become the French ambassador in your country,
in Colombia. And this is Chief of Staff.
Chief of Staff.
He's the one who is running. The very important. Energy Agency.
We met.
Mr. Mahmoud.
Yes.
Hello again, Prime Minister.
Twist his arm
What did you say?
and make his arm very painful like this, you know.
It has to be equal to the European member states.
Yes.
Supportif pour le member states.
Le partenariat stratégique et nous avons obtenu le support de
Yes. And this is Lithuania. And here, Latvia. Lithuania.
Nice to meet you.
And here,
State are together.
yes, and then Israel. Yes.
But normally in life as well.
Hello, meeting you. Welcome.
Thank you for the flowers. They were beautiful. Thank you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the OECD. Today's visit, your first to the OECD. Hopefully there will be many more.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Secrétaire général, Vos Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs les ambassadeurs membres du Conseil de l'OCDE. C'est un honneur pour moi de m'adresser aujourd'hui aux membres du Conseil de l'OCDE. J'aurais évidemment aimé que nous soyons tous en présentiel, mais malheureusement, ce n'est pas possible pour l'instant. Je suis heureuse d'avoir cet échange avec vous, Mesdames et Messieurs les ambassadeurs, avant la conférence ministérielle qui commence demain. L'OCDE est une organisation que nous chérissons pour son travail remarquable au service de la dissémination des meilleures pratiques du monde. C'est une organisation que la Roumanie est désireuse de joindre comme une étape importante et logique de son modernisation économique et sociale. Le rôle et l'expertise de l'OCDE sont d'autant plus nécessaires pendant cette période compliquée qui nous présente plusieurs défis. Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, Romania gives great importance to OECD. You might wonder why my country is today, for over 30 years, a democracy. We have overcome more than 40 years of a catastrophic planned economy during the communist dictatorship. We have undergone profound structural reforms, and today we are a market economy and a vibrant democracy. In the last 3 decades, my country has joined the European Union and NATO and has actively engaged in international cooperation. OECD is an important player in international economic policy, a source of evidence-based advice for governments, and a standard setter to address global challenges. OECD membership is a strategic milestone for Romania. That is why I am here today, to reaffirm our political commitment to the OECD values and our keen interest in becoming part of OECD family. It is a major goal broadly shared by the political establishment, business community, trade unions, academy, civil society. Our cooperation with the OECD started in 1990. Romania applied for the first time for membership in 2004 and renewed its application in 2012, 2016 and 2017. Our growing involvement and strengthened cooperation with OECD are testimony to the coherence and we displayed in pursuing our OECD candidacy. And we believe in the values promoted by OECD, building public trust in governments and business through greater transparency and accountability, and promoting policies and international standards to the benefit of all citizens. As such, the OECD represents a natural partner of choice for Romania. We believe that the right path for a sustainable and sound economic policy is to invest in effective multilateralism. Romania is a firm supporter of multilateralism and the organizations that underpin a rules-based international order. Romania wants to be a team partner in the collective effort of inspiring the OECD with a fit for the future strategic vision and how to emerge from the COVID-19 crisis stronger together. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 3 decades, we have built a fruitful collaboration with the OECD and deploy considerable effort to align to its standards. Romania has a strong track record that would enable us to start accession negotiation as soon as possible. We are pleased that our efforts and overall state of readiness are largely acknowledged. As part of our constant efforts of getting closer to the organization's standards and values, Romania has extended its participation in the OECD activity. We are currently partner in 23 OECD bodies and programs and have adhered to 47 legal instruments. Most of our ministries and institutions are involved in OECD projects, committees, and working groups. I will mention only a few recent examples highlighting our strong engagement with OECD. We are carrying out an economic survey. We are working on the compliance of national legislation with the provision of OECD Convention on combating bribery of civil servants in international trade. We are part of the Program for International Student Assessments, PISA 2021, a truly important tool for us. And we are participating in the 2021 edition of Government of a Glance. We are also making good progress in an important project on public governance with a follow-up report as a basis for Romania's adherence to the codes of liberalization of capital movement. In addition, we are working on adhering to the recommendation of guidelines on corporate governance of state-owned enterprise, as well as on improving our emerging donor profile. All this work has become increasingly more relevant in the context of the current crisis. These efforts undertaken by Romania reiterate my country's capability of contributing to the organization's work. Ladies and gentlemen, I take the opportunity to briefly refer to Romania's response to the COVID-19 crisis. Romania is well placed to support the efforts of building back better. Before the COVID-19 outbreak hit, the Romanian economy was among the fastest growing in the European Union, and we were anticipating a good year, economic growth of around 5% and a low level of unemployment. But the virus struck and our economy, like all around the world, has been shaken. However, the government's swift reaction has kept the country on a stable trajectory by taking the necessary measures to protect our citizens and businesses. During the first wave of the crisis, the government focused on short-term measures, ensuring liquidity for companies, postponing bank rates, securing jobs, implementing measures to revive the economy and support public investment. The Romanian government managed to take as many measures as possible to maintain jobs, ensure liquidity for companies, and allow the economy to continue to work and produce. The large package of economic measures adopted by the government in 2020 to support the Romanian economy amounts 61.8 billion lei, approximately 6% of the GDP. In this regard, despite the economic and sanitary crisis, we have managed to boost investments during the first semester of this year, so that the level of public investment is at its highest level in the last 10 years. We also made extensive efforts for the quick digitalization of as many public procedures and services as possible. This will be continued in order to improve the quality and accessibility of public services. By the way, the OECD COVID-19 Digital Hub have been a valuable source of inspiration for my team in the Romanian government in our efforts to provide policy support that is targeted and adapted to changing conditions. Another important aspect I want to touch upon is the considerable results Romania has registered in the fight against corruption. The Romanian government promoted significant institutional measures and is firmly fighting corruption. We are also focusing on cross-border corruption, and the project I mentioned on anti-bribery legislation run by the Ministry of Justice in cooperation with OECD is tailored according to our National Anti-Corruption Strategy 2016-2020. We are also taking part in the ongoing debates at the EU level regarding the multidimensional aspects of the rule of law. As such, Romania is actively involved and open to promote its own experience and strong track record in the field. We will continue to pursue a positive agenda on the reforms in the field of justice and anti-corruption, in line with the recommendation of the European Commission and the OECD. I would also like to emphasize that Romania holds a consistent expertise in relation with its immediate neighbors, the Western Balkans and the Eastern Partnership countries, and is dynamically involved in disseminating the OECD standards and best practices in Southeast Europe, as well as the extended Black Sea region. The transatlantic relationship holds a prominent place in our foreign policy. It is of key importance in reviving the multilateral system with its rules-based order and in better connecting it to current and future challenges. Your Excellencies, over the decades, the OECD has provided a unique setting where governments come together to share policy experiences, identify good practices, find solutions to common problems, and collaborate on addressing global challenges. As the organization is about to celebrate its 60th anniversary, I would like to congratulate you all and to compliment Secretary General Angel Gurria for his active role in promoting the enlargement and the OECD's engagement with the aspiring candidate states. As a front-running candidate country, we notice, with some regret, to be honest, that discussion on the future OECD enlargement initiated in 2016 have proven to be more complex and complicated than anticipated. Nevertheless, we are convinced that OECD members have the wisdom, pragmatic spirit, flexibility, and negotiating skills for advancing towards a compromise solution and to an OECD Council decision on enlargement as soon as the right moment arrives. We rely on the political will of the OECD members, and we hope that enlargement will remain a priority on your agenda. Je m'arrête ici. Avec ce message, nous sommes déterminés de poursuivre et renforcer la coopération avec l'OCDE. Notre engagement, l'engagement de la Roumanie pour commencer les négociations d'adhésion est plus fort que jamais. Nous comptons sur votre appui. La Roumanie est un pays démocratique avec une économie dynamique qui partage les valeurs de l'OCDE. Notre adhésion peut représenter un pas de plus pour la modernisation de mon pays et également une valeur ajoutée pour l'OCDE, une institution prestigieuse qui se prépare à affronter de nouveaux défis dans un monde qui se transforme plus vite que jamais. Merci beaucoup.